Let us begin where the facts demand. Recent media reports have raised serious allegations involving former Speaker Martin Romualdez. These include the alleged acquisition of a fleet of luxury aircraft, among them a Gulfstream G150 and a G550. Aircraft reportedly worth over 2.6 billion pesos, allegedly purchased from a known tycoon and parked discreetly in private hangars. But that is not all. There are also allegations that the former speaker acquired multiple properties in Forbes Park, the country's most elite and guarded residential address, and several more real estate assets in Cebu City. Some reports even suggest that these are not held directly under his name, but through corporations or nominees, a pattern not unfamiliar to those investigating corruption and asset concealment. Now, to be clear, we do not pass judgment. There is no final and executory ruling. There is no conviction. The presumption of innocence enshrined in the Constitution remains. But if these acquisitions are proven to be sourced from public funds, influence peddling, or any abuse of office, then what we are looking at is not just ostentation, but potential plunder. Under Republic Act number 7080, the Anti-Plunder Law, the acquisition of ill-gotten wealth amounting to 50 million pesos or more through a series of criminal acts such as misappropriation, bribery, and kickbacks constitutes plunder, a heinous crime, non-bailable, punishable by reclusion perpetua, and forfeiture of assets. Likewise, RA 3019, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, requires all public officers to explain any significant increase in wealth not proportional to their lawful income. Failure to do so creates a presumption of corruption. Add to that RA 6713, the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, which mandates full and accurate disclosure of assets, liabilities, and net worth through one's SALN. A deliberate concealment, that's falsification and perjury, both criminal offenses. And let us not forget the Anti-Money Laundering Act, RA 9160 as amended, penalizes not just the laundering of illegally obtained wealth, but also attempts to conceal it through corporate layering or proxy ownership. Now we arrive at a critical point. Romualdez has resigned as Speaker of the House. But let the public understand, resignation is not absolution. It is not immunity. It is not a shield. He still holds office as a congressman. He remains a public officer under the law. And if these acts, these alleged acquisitions of jets, properties, and luxury assets were committed during his time in office, then resignation does not extinguish liability. On the contrary, it must trigger investigation. In Office of the Ombudsman versus Masing and many other Supreme Court cases, the court has held that resignation does not preclude administrative or criminal liability for acts committed while in public office. The public office may be vacated, but the consequences of misconduct do not vanish with the signature of a resignation letter. Resignation is not a clean slate. It is merely the beginning of scrutiny. And to those who would say, let's move on, or wala namang kaso, we remind them, justice demands inquiry, not indifference. The law mandates accountability, not amnesia. If these allegations are true, then what we are seeing is not leadership, but luxury built on the backs of struggling people. And finally, let us ask, should President Bongbong Marcos be spared from this reckoning. For 3 years, he empowered Romualdez, enabled him, protected him. He only acted now under threat of public outrage and international scrutiny. There are no private jets high enough, no gated estates secure enough, no halls of power deep enough to escape the reach of a people who demand justice. Let the law soar higher than privilege. Let truth land where it must. Because in this republic, no man is above the law. Another day, another regal POV.